Right now on Fridays, we feature news from the state. It likes to serve up the odd, bizarre, shocking, gross, lawless. It's Friday Fabulous Florida.
It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
And so it may come as no surprise to you, those who follow Floridians, that the older crowd, they like to roll around just like the younger kids do. And a Florida man, 77-year-old dude, planned to sell misbranded erectile dysfunction drugs to an entire retirement community.
Wow, was his name Donald?
Reginald Odell Kinser is his name, of the notorious retirement community, The Villages.
Yeah, we know this one.
That's
Strange
where
things
people
go
are.
on at the Villages.
Get your cart
It
going,
is-
got to get it charged.
It is truly like some kind of ongoing wall-to-wall party.
It sounds like a show tonight on the Villages.
It is a show. I think
Yeah.
that's true.
It's like the
It's
Golden
an
Bachelor.
age-restricted community, and this guy, Reggie Odell Kinser, he's being treated like a drug dealer.
He has
Yeah.
cute dimples.
Yeah, he is a cute guy.
Well, they usually
77.
treat
I'm
you like a drug dealer if you're dealing drugs, right?
For
He
you know,
could face time behind bars. Federal prosecutors say that he obtained over $1,800 in erectile dysfunction drugs without a prescription from a licensed physician.
Wow.
He allegedly had plans to sell the product, according to federal prosecutors. If convicted, he faces up to a year in federal prison and a fine of $10,000. He had planned to redistribute these drugs to others locally. And according to the charging documents, the others involved in getting him these tablets, Velitra, Snovitra, Senforce, Vidalista. I don't
Senforce?
I know Senforce is the one I'd want. I don't know what it
Are these
they all
the
sound
drugs
great.
or the suspects?
but it just might work.
He has had a prior drug-related run-in with law enforcement, everyone.
Shocking.
Yeah. He was arrested in 2020 for multiple drugs, including,
Where are my weed smokers at?
well, that, yes, marijuana and psilocybin, like a mushroom, right? And MDMA, which is kind of like another level of that.
Molly.
Yeah, he was given
Allegedly.
3 years of probation. I mean, listen, I will say this. In the Villages, it sounds like he is the stop you want to make if you're into that kind of thing. He seems as though he has quite a reasonably broad brochure of various narcotics.
It's
Meantime,
probably one of the
yeah.
best mugshot pictures I've ever seen.
Yeah, he does look happy. I mean, but then again, there's a lot of stuff coursing through those veins.
That's what Trump was going
Your
for.
iron rod.
Trump didn't really get what he was going for. I think that's what he was
Yeah.
going for.
Well, I think Trump was going for, on his mugshot, strength and anger and,
Voldemort.
Yeah, I think he got what he wanted, actually. But a Florida man is arrested for stealing his ex-employer's street sweeper to, quote, do a job with a competing company.
Oh,
Yeah. Kevin Rodriguez Aponte. Yeah, I love a guy with a plan, and this is a good one. Here he is. He was arrested and charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle. A lawn care business owner says that his street sweeper was stolen from the shop that's operated out of Northeast 150th Avenue. You know where that is, John.
Exactly.
Surveillance video from the business showed a pickup truck in the driveway, someone wearing a gray hoodie under an orange reflective vest, walking around the street sweeper, then touching the street sweeper, and then taking the street sweeper.
What?
The business owner said that Rodriguez Aponte, 29-year-old, shown here, a former employee, he says that he may have taken the street sweeper, and he points out that only somebody who is trained would be able to operate the street sweeper.
that narrows down your list of suspects.
Exactly. Yeah. He says that he, quote, separated from the business about 6 months ago.
Maybe
Well, it
due to
doesn't
his-
look like he was good at landscaping because take a look at his beard.
He does have a couple of.
He didn't
I'm going to give
finish.
him credit for. You're right, though. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's an incomplete job.
He's not a bad-looking guy, though.
He was told in the. And I agree. Told in the past to not return to the business or use any of the equipment, but he called to ask to use the street sweeper. He was denied that. It's funny about that once you've left the
did ask.
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had to just move forward with his plan.
Look, guys,
to
my
use the
street is just really dirty. Just help a guy out.
Can I just borrow it till Christmas? Armed Florida man in tactical vest driving wrong way threatens driver before leading deputies on a chase, everybody. I love a chase. Numerous charges being leveled against a guy who deputies say pulled a gun on a driver. He was traveling the wrong way. The driver who confronted him for traveling the wrong way had the gun pulled on him. That led law enforcement to respond to the scene.
Can you
And
tell us?
they did.
What can you tell us about the scene?
Law enforcement responding to it, Larry. According to the Citrus County Sheriff's Office, deputies called to the intersection of West Cypress and Pine Street. You know where that is, John. After a man said a wrong-way driver wearing what he believed was a ballistic armor outfit threatened him with a gun. That's when the cops responded and they went on a huge chase. Instead of stopping, the dude sped off, ran a red light. They pursued the vehicle because of the earlier reported incident with the gun. They followed him onto U.S. Highway 19, then onto U.S. Highway 98. And finally, the pursuit went into Hernando County. Deputies there with the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, they responded. It was a sheriff's party down in Florida on this guy.
Uh-oh, don't tell Grady.
There's a reason that...
There's a reason that this place is fun.
I think it's a situation, Grady.
What he's got going here
It's
is a situation.
Exactly.
This
They
sounds like one of
approached-
those Mad Lib crime stories where you fill in the blank.
Yeah, you're
Wrong
right. There's a
way.
lot going on here.
Yeah.
They finally got him. And his there's his mugshot. He looks happy, like really happy.
Yeah, like drugged out happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he trying to stick his tongue out at us? I think
You
he
can't
is.
feel it. I can't feel my tongue.
A Florida man just trying to make some extra money, he said. Caught with
Meth.
anybody?
Hookers
Meth?
and blow?
What do you say? You say cocaine, Kim? You say
Right.
meth, John?
Prostitutes. Yeah.
Please, one guess at a time.
Is that your
In the
final
chat,
answer?
what was he caught with? Wes says meth. Well, I'm going to tell you. Meth and gators? No, he was not. I was just trying to make some extra money. Caught with over 180 grams of
Erectile
weed
medication.
is the word we wanted. Weed, everybody. Yeah.
Where are my weed smokers at?
Well, he's doing more than smoking with that kind of look. There he is.
Wow.
Another good-looking. It's the day of good-looking criminals.
He's a good-looking man, and he's
Wow.
got a good-looking stash of marijuana.
I mean, I could see him in a Benetton ad.
Itty bitty bit of weed?
Yeah, not an itty-bitty bit. 180 grams, I think is
Much better
quite-
presentation with the hair, clean shaven, but he has that like cool
Yeah.
kind of dyed
As
job
Kim
on his
says,
face.
he's a handsome dude.
Yeah,
He was
it's-
pulled
it-
over on Friday. Deputies saw his car didn't have working tag lights. Jeez, man, they're really...
If you're going to carry around the drugs, maybe you want to do it in a way that
Mm-hmm.
causes you to have less attention focused on you.
Yeah. Deputies used a canine. Once you bring the canines in, they know the smell of weed. Led to a positive alert, as they call it. Inside the car, deputies found a green backpack with a container
Yeah,
with a
it is.
green leafy substance inside and empty baggies, a tray, and scale.
Oh,
It's hard
that's
to...
incriminating.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to fabricate much of a story here with the scale and plastic baggies. They also found cash inside the floorboard and 13 baggies filled with a green leafy substance. Man. All of the aforementioned baggies and paraphernalia field tested positive for marijuana. Aforementioned is a ding word. The 22-year-old admitted to intending to sell the black baggies of marijuana, but said the money on the floor wasn't related to his drug dealing.
Oh, that's a separate account. That's not my drug account.
Wow. Well, he was booked in. I don't need to tell you.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking for a second, I'm like, they're all wearing the same shirt. That's weird. Oh, wait, no, that was provided.
The
to
jail
them.
cert.
Provided
Yeah.
for
It's a red and
standard
white.
issue.
Red and white, yeah.
A Florida man admits that he was drunk when he fell asleep and drove off from deputies during a traffic stop. Well, this truly is.
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's
You don't have to
alcohol
bet
involved.
it. It's right in the story. A man was taken to jail after admitting he was drunk in Ocala, Florida, fell asleep behind the wheel at a Marion County stoplight.
There's that shirt.
Emmanuel Class is his last name. Another handsome guy, 45 years old, arrested on charges of DUI and resisting/fleeing a law enforcement officer.
That was a
So
rough
he's
night.
trying to say, hey, man, I didn't flee. I fell asleep. And, no. The deputy
where I
tried to
was.
wake Class several times, unsuccessfully. He eventually woke up, appeared dazed, and would not respond to deputies as they commanded him to lower his window. He reportedly refused to roll his window down, ultimately drove off from deputies, running from the red traffic light. He was later stopped and taken into custody. They actually performed a pit maneuver on his car and able to get it to stop. He participated in field sobriety exercises. He provided breath samples of .193 and .200. Albert, that's not good, right?
Oh.
I think that's a pretty bad showing.
Good day, sir.
Yeah. I'm going to keep calling 911 back, said a Florida man charged with repeatedly calling emergency services. Deputies saying that they responded to a dispute between James William Jubain and his neighbor. Jubain reportedly tried ordering deputies to conduct their investigation while deputies were still on the scene. Oh, well.
What can you tell us about the scene?
Jubain wants an investigation, Larry. He keeps calling 911. Deputies said they explained to Jubain that if he had concerns that he wanted to address with a supervisor, he could call the sheriff on a non-emergency number. About an hour after the deputies left the area and continued over the next couple of days, Jubain repeatedly called 911 for non-emergency reasons. During one of his calls, Jubain told the emergency call taker, "You want to charge me with abuse of 911? Go for it."
Yeah.
During another call, he said, "I'm going to keep calling 911 back. You can charge me all you want." He was taken into custody.
Wild idea, but it just might work.
Yeah, they went to his residence, transported him to the Marion County Jail, and he's being held on $8,000 bond. They're not messing around.
It looks like they have one of those David Katz cameras.
Where he looks away slightly.
Yeah,
that's
where are you
very,
looking?
very good. Good grab, John.
Camera's
on
over
that.
here, dude.
Yes, very, very good. A Florida woman. Thank you, ladies, for getting involved. A Florida woman is arrested after
About time.
setting up a man that she met on a dating app to be carjacked.
Ooh.
Titusville woman in Titusville, Florida, arrested this past weekend. She set up a guy she met on a dating app, set him up to be carjacked. You know, I'm just looking at her booking images, it says. She looks like a nice lady, too. She's kind of attractive.
She knows her angles. She's done this before.
Yeah.
She has Instagram.
You know, on the dating apps, and she did meet this guy on a dating app, I'd use that picture. I'd crop out booking
Right.
image. If,
Yeah, maybe
you
sheriff's
know.
office as well.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, there's that too. Yeah, you've got to
Yeah.
change the background and crop out booking. She's 24 years old, Brianna Edie, and she had a plan. She set this dude up with an armed carjacking. Yeah. Authorities say the incident happened at an apartment complex parking lot over on Rocky Pit Road in Titusville. You know where that is, John?
Yeah.
Nothing good in the good
Matchmaker.
hour.
They communicated over the tagged dating app over several days. The two drove off together. They went to this park, unnamed park. Park was closed, so they drove back to what the victim of the carjacking thought was Edie's home on Rock Pit Road. Turned out that they were met by two guys when they went back there, one of whom was armed with a gun. The armed man displayed the gun, ordered the victim out of the SUV, demanded his keys, and Edie calmly got out of the SUV and appeared to, quote, just stand around and wait.
I'm not scared.
The suspects then told the victim to lie in the grass, and while he did that, the men and Edie got into the vehicle and sped off.
What?
She was later taken into custody on the warrant, and she remains in jail without bond. Wow. The victim, by the way, called the cops, reported his car stolen, showed the officers pictures of her because, you know, there was all over text messages and they'd communicated on that dating app, and so there's really nowhere to go.
Tagged and released. More like it.
Yeah, exactly. Tagged and released, exactly. And finally, a Florida hit-and-run victim clings to the car's hood for 2 miles after the woman tries to flee the crash. It happened in Palm Coast.
You got to be in shape to hang on for 2 miles.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
And not only that, the woman who hit this woman who hung onto the hood, she was 76 and is 76 years old.
Oh, so
again, in Palm Coast.
Probably not driving that fast.
Well, actually, they were going 50 miles an hour.
Whoa.
That's pretty fast.
That's extreme for Granny.
Yeah. Cheryl Henderson, the 76-year-old, arrested and charged with leaving the scene of a...
What can you tell us about the scene?
I'm leaving it, Larry. I can't really tell you much about it. Leaving the scene of a crash involving property damage and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Hit-and-run crash happened near the intersection of Palm Coast and Bell Terry Parkway. It happened in the afternoon. The victim told deputies that they used their vehicle, the victim's vehicle, to try to block Henderson from leaving. But Henderson allegedly sped up. Bystanders, including a dude who was alongside, began arguing. And shortly after, Henderson drove her car at that guy. The gentleman came out and said, you know, cops are on the way. We've already called the cops. And that's when she just tried to drive away. Unable to avoid the vehicle, the victim ended up on the hood of the car.
Crazy.
This is a dude, the guy who got into it with her. He hung on desperately as she headed south on Bell Terry Parkway. Henderson reached speeds of 50 miles an hour as he followed her in an attempt to get her to pull over. So there are two guys involved, one who's tracking and one who got hit by the vehicle. My entire goal
Tom
is to,
Cruise?
yeah, it
Hanging
really
onto
is
his car?
crazy.
Like, wow.
Is there actual video of this, Albert? Albert? No?
Not that I saw.
Okay. Just curious. But he survived, obviously, and she's charged, the 76-year-old, with hit and run, and as I mentioned, assault with a deadly weapon and all that other stuff.
It's being optioned for a film.
Yeah, it does. It's a scene in a movie. I don't know if you can build the whole movie around it.
Well,
but,
Granny, yeah, you could build something around Granny.
I will offer it up as one of the stories that you can choose from if you're choosing a favorite. I will quickly review the favorites, and then we will choose a favorite. You can choose a favorite in the chat. Again, these are the stories. The Florida dude, 77 years old, planned to sell misbranded erectile dysfunction drugs in the retirement community called The Villages. The Florida dude arrested for stealing the ex-employer's street sweeper to do a job for a different competing company. The Florida dude, quote, just trying to make some extra money, caught with over 180 grams of weed in the car along with scales and baggies. The Florida man admitting that he was drunk when he fell asleep, drove off from deputies during a traffic stop. I'm going to keep calling 911. There's the dude who just wouldn't stop calling 911. Over several days, they finally arrested him. He taunted them. He said, he dared them, arrest me. And they did. Florida woman, after she set up that whole thing on the dating app. She meets the guy, and then they carjack him. There's that story. And finally, the Florida hit-and-run victim clinging to the car's hood for 2 miles after the woman tries to flee the crash. Speeds of up to 50 miles an hour. Albert, what is leading in the chat, please?
Sorry. Let me double check. I did post it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me refresh it, actually.
All right.
Albert, thank you.
All right. Let's go first to fabulous producer John Daly for your favorite, please, John.
Fabulous producer John Daly.
I like the guy clinging to the car. That's very Florida.
Yeah.
But there's something about the stolen street sweeper. I like the guy's gumption. And it's kind of an original story.
Yeah, yeah. It does feel quite original. Yeah. How about you, Kim?
I feel like there's a lot going on at the Villages. You know, there's probably like many storylines there.
Sure.
And I'm intrigued. I'm going with the fellow who's selling the fake erection pills.
Yeah. Albert, what's your favorite, please?
That one is the leading favorite in the polls.
Yeah.
55%. I just like the collection of vehicles gone wild. There's a lot of people going crazy in cars, driving the wrong way, pulling guns on people. I think the streets of Florida have been kind of crazy the past week.
The Fast and the Furious.
That is true.
Albert, thank you.
You're right. It is Fast and Furious down there. For pure Florida, it's so on brand. Retirement community, so many of them in Florida, the Villages. I agree. There's a lot good here with mayhem, but I'm going with the Florida guy who was selling the fake erectile dysfunction drugs in the retirement community. I don't know if they were fake. They were definitely mislabeled.
What was the one? Space Force?
Space Con or something.
Space
Yeah. Right. Give me something with
Rocket
space in
fuel.
it. Right,
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Elon.
That's what I want. That's Friday Fabulous Florida for today.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.